Well, there seems to have been a little bit of confusion over our letter writing process, and people are not confident that these letters are working when in actual fact they're working 100%. So, what I'm going to attempt to do today is to take you through the legislation that I used in formatting these letters and hope that this helps you to understand at a deeper level why these letters work and how they work. So let's start by saying that the letters will only work if they're addressed to a living man. Now, in the previous videos I've done, I've told you that people like Inland Revenue, WINS, and government departments name all their computers and they use the computers to generate letters. Now, if you respond to that computer, the a living man behind it will then step up because they know they're going to get a commission. So you must identify the party or a party within that department that is writing to you and address that party. If you don't, you're addressing a table, a chair, a computer, and they're inanimate objects, therefore they cannot respond to you. So make sure you address a living person. They they will try and recontract you. These people are after a commission, so they'll use all sorts of subterfuge and obfuscation in trying to recontract you. The most important part is to not fall for it. Okay, so by uh, asking questions of the sometimes they'll send a letter back from a different person, which will just be another computer. So you must respond to that. But if they call you on the phone, very important that you say to them, sorry, I don't do business on the phone. Anything you have to say must be in writing, signed under your full commercial liability. And that will normally get rid of them. They don't like to pay, I can assure you. And once again, our response must always address their status. Remember that all are equal under the law. They cannot address a man because we're equal under the law. They are only administering deceased estates. So do not fall for the subject matter. That will get you into argument, and automatically you go into argument, you will pay the bill. So let's look at the letter that we wrote, and you'll notice in red there the living agent. Let's just, for the sake of this exercise, call the living agent Johnny Depp. So, dear Johnny Depp, we received a notice, blah, blah. Okay, the last sentence there. To clarify the situation, would Johnny Depp kindly respond to the following questions to above within 14 days, with the stipulation that Johnny Depp's non-response will be acknowledged as tacit acceptance and admission. High Court Rule 8.48. Now that's a new bit that we've added there, and so let's explain that. Uh, what we had before was okay, but this is even better, and I'll explain it to you because I didn't put this in because I didn't think it necessary. But let's just explain it a bit so that you do understand. Okay, this sentence is our judgment. This sentence is what kills them. You cannot change this sentence. If you take this sentence out, you will not have judgment. And I've seen people change this sentence to say, your prompt response is appreciated. You're not going to get the tacit acceptance and admission by doing that. So let's have a look at that. The stipulation is one of the key parts to this sentence and to the whole letter. It's a material condition, requirement, or article in an agreement. Okay, so if we get the stipulation, we have an agreement with the other party. So just pause and read through the rest of it there, but what we're after is an agreement. So if they don't respond to us within 14 days, we have an agreement with Johnny Depp. So let's look at what tacit acceptance means. We just had silent acquiescence there, but tacit acceptance takes it a little bit further. tacit, existing, inferred, or understood without being openly expressed or stated, implied by silence or silent acquiescence. So we've included everything by putting tacit acceptance instead of just silent acquiescence. Okay, now the admission, okay, is part of the stipulation. They're admitting, and it comes under the High Court Rules 8.48, which we'll go through later. Okay, so how do we get our judgment? By asking the following 6 questions. Now, you have seen these questions before. Is Johnny Depp an agent of the Crown? Of course he is. Is Johnny Depp sworn to uphold New Zealand legislation? Yes. If so, would Johnny Depp kindly show us a copy of the goods and services we ordered? They can't do that. Is Johnny Depp willing to take the stand to testify? Nope, he will not. Does this notice comply with Section 240 of the Crimes Act? No, they face jail time. Should this not be treated as discharge for misrepresentation under Section 40 of the Contract and Commercial Law Act 2017, or paid in full tittle? We have added a new word. Thank you, Carl, for that word. Tittle is a new word that I've only just learned about, and this is only for government agencies, guys. So if you're going to be dealing with any other corporation, it's slightly different, but this is for government agents who are administering our deceased estate or the surname. Okay, so now I apologize in advance to all you Greek speakers out there. I'm going to try and say it tetelestai, I think, but anyway, the abbreviated form is tittle. So if we go down to the blue there, the word tetelestai was also written on business documents or receipts in New Testament times to show, indicating that a bill had been paid in full. Receipts are often introduced by the phrase tetelestai, usually written in an abbreviated manner. So I've given you the word and the abbreviation there, and it's to pay for our debts. Okay, so paid in full. Now let's move on to the legislation that proves our judgment process. So we'll find this in the High Court Rules. Once again, I've given you the web address there. Just type in your favorite search engine, High Court Rules, and it will come up. 8.48, Judgment on Admission of Facts. Now, if you looked at that sentence above, you will see admission. Okay, a judgment or order may be made on an admission of facts. If they don't respond, we have tacit agreement, so they're admitting that we're right. But it comes under Rule 15.15, so let's have a look at 15.15, which says judgment on admission of facts. Now, the tacit agreement is an admission of facts. So we're backing this up with the High Court Rules here. So we can go a little bit further into the High Court Rules here. Notice to admit facts. Notice to admit facts. A party who is entitled to serve a notice under Rule 8.34 may at any time serve on another party a notice requiring the party to admit, for the purpose of the proceeding only, the facts specified in the notice. The notice must be in Form G36. Now we know the form that we need to use if we want to go this far. There is no need to go this far. They will leave you alone with that letter as long as you rebut every attempt to recontract. They will leave you alone. So there's no need to fill out this form, but we're going to show it to you anyway, just to prove that the form does exist. There it is, Form G36. This is in the schedule of the High Court Rules, and this is the form that you fill out to give them notice that they have admitted that you are right and they are wrong. They won't admit that. They just silently agree with you and say, yeah, please go away. I do not want you to take any money out of my pocket. I want to take it out of yours, but you don't take it out of mine. So how do we prove that the form is going to work, it's in the first line there. Directions and forms prescribed in a schedule have statutory force. So if you look at the footnote there, 136, and you go down there to footnote 136, Finlayson versus District Land Registrar. So there is a court case there that shows you that they must uphold it. Okay, they must uphold previous court cases, and they're telling you if you find a form in a schedule, they must uphold that form. There is the form, Form G36, and they must uphold it. Now we'll look at the final section or the final sentence in our letter. We've changed this slightly just to beef it up a little bit, so you can amend your letters as you see fit. So what we're doing as a principle in this matter is we, John Henry, now notice Johnny Depp that this is a cease and desist order until this dispute is finalised with the stipulation, there we go, stipulation once again, which means agreement, that any further contact will invoke the fees contained in our schedule, so you attach your schedule, and a lien lodged on the PPSR against the personal property of Johnny Depp. Okay, that should scare the living daylights out of them, because we have done that before and they don't like it. So look, I hope that's cleared up the confusion. These letters are very powerful, and just feel confident in writing them and helping other people to write them and send them out to all these commissioned agents who are trying to get a commission out of us by making us reach into our pocket and pay for stupid little things that we don't need to. Hope that's helped.